All right, this is the first edition of Tubi Turds, and it's starting a long saga of the man, the myth, the legend, Joel Paul Rising. So right off the bat, we have what is he? He's a cop.
Well, that's not right off the bat.
I mean,
first of all, you're erasing the women of this movie. Okay, way to just fail the Bechdel test.
Yeah, we got this woman who
We
she
got
works at
this
the
woman.
We got this woman. I can't
She's
remember
the
her name.
main character.
What's her name? Do you never remember her name?
I don't remember her
Exactly.
name.
Hold on,
But in true Christmas movie fashion, she is a New York City businesswoman who returns to her small hometown of Holly, Michigan. Disdainfully, reluctantly, but she's here. She's only here for a little bit. She's not looking to find love. I don't remember why she's there. Maybe just to visit her parents who own the Holly Hotel.
Kathy is our protagonist here.
Yes.
And Matthew is the cop who pulls her over.
A-cam, right?
And guess what? You know what? If you're going 51 and a 25, this movie's going to let you know about it. This movie's going to remind you over and over again that this woman was going 51 and a 25. 51 and a 25? I know. 51 and a 25. Reckless. So this is a rom-com, and rom-coms, the basic, it's got to be unrequited love. But these two hit it off immediately. They're going on dates, and there's no real kind of strife between them. You don't agree? Because they go quickly to "I love you" after one or two dates.
No, they don't.
Yes, he says "I love you" after the second date.
Oh God! Not only does it say "I love you," he's what I want.
Time is a little bit nebulous, but
what I want out of life is I want a bunch of kids. I don't want them sitting around the Christmas tree on Christmas morning opening presents while I hold you tightly and suppress the boner that's arising.
Yeah, this is what Joel Paul Rising thinks women porn is. He's like, I'm so stable with my career.
But then he's like, why don't women like me?
Yeah. And then they bring up her going 51 and a 25 again. Because for some reason, she's at the police station with her, and the chief wants her to he's like, oh my God, you wrote this woman a ticket? Well, let's just tear that up.
Well, look at her bazingas.
How fast was she even going? Wait. He says, I don't want Holly to be known as a speed trap town. And then he thinks about it for a second, and he's like, actually, how fast was she going? 51 and a 25. Well, I've already said we don't want to be a speed trap town. And he's like, that's fucking, but you could tell his eyes are like, that's fucking fast. That's really fucking fast.
That is pretty
and
fast.
I'm going to tear up the ticket anyway because I said I was going to, but wow, that was irresponsible.
This movie's actually about ghosts.
Oh yeah. There's who knew that, the Holly Hotel, never heard this before, but apparently it's haunted by the former owners.
By two old ghosts.
Yeah. Which normally when you're like a ghost, you're stuck in purgatory from some unresolved business. And their unresolved business is they want them grandkids hooking up. If Kathy sexes up Matthew, it would be not, quote unquote, a Christmas miracle.
They did say that it would be a Christmas miracle.
How is it a Christmas miracle? What is it saving? The hotel's not in danger. What's so Christmas miracle-y about it? Does Matthew got these ghosts? Is Matthew like a secret Ghostbuster? And he's like, I am going to exterminate you if you do not let me get in this lady's drawers.
It's the only way that they will be released into their final resting place.
Mm-hmm.
But
hell
at the Holly Hotel. And this movie was very obviously filmed at a time when most people were inside for their own safety. They weren't doing things like making movies, but Joel Paul Rising was like, I want to risk my health and safety and all of the actors and the crew's health and safety and all of Holly's health and safety, and I'm going to film a fucking Christmas movie. There's all these scenes where the city of Holly is just empty and the hotel is empty and the places these people go are empty, or they have to stand 6 feet apart and they're supposed to be in love, but every scene where they're having like a deep romantic conversation is like she's on a front porch and he's standing in the street and they're kind of just shouting at each other. And he goes to take her on a date, and it has to be outside because of like COVID regulations. And it's a horse and buggy carriage ride.
Do you remember who ordered the horse and buggy?
The ghost.
The ghost. Yes, exactly. The ghost ordered the. Okay, who's paying for that? It's nice that the ghost called it in, but I need real human dollars. Okay,
Joel Paul
I don't
Rising.
need. Yeah, Joel Paul Rising. And then no tip. Oh, thanks. I'm glad the ghost ordered this, but it's customary to tip on these things, and you gotta just store them off.
Get their romance going.
The horse and buggy driver is an old crotchety man, though. He seems pretty grump. So
He was not
maybe he
in the
didn't deserve
movie
it.
for very long,
Yeah.
was he? He was just there because he owns a horse and buggy carriage company. He's not like an actor or anything. They're just like, this is the only guy who knows how to whisper to the horses to get them to move.
And then their next meet cute moment is alphabetizing a spice rack, which goes on for way too long. They go
again.
through half the alphabet, then they go backwards.
Again, talking about fucking being on a porch and in the street. The whole conversation where she's like, name one spice, and then he can't do it. You remember
It's from
that?
like 50 feet away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like on the other side of the block, and she's, because they're doing the whole we gotta stay. Someone probably tested positive for COVID that day, but Joel Paul Rising's like, no, we're gonna power through and provide art to the people. But so she's obsessed with spices. Why? Because she loves to cook. She loves to cook, and we didn't touch on this yet, but her busy businesswoman job, she's a food critic for like a New York magazine.
She was.
Well,
Or
she
is she-
still is.
Oh, yeah.
But, well, we'll get to that at the end of the movie. She still is, but her family is really trying to get her to come back to Holly, Michigan, so she can be the head chef at the Holly Hotel, because they're like, your real passion is cooking, not writing about cooking. You want to actually make the food. And that's why she's like, name one spice. Like,
And, he's like, I'll get you with Z. And she's like, oh, Zaboomafu. And he's like, oh, my God, I can't believe that was a spice. I thought that was a cartoon monkey on PBS.
And then he was like, and I'm a cop, so if you want to impress me, name one gun.
Yeah. But she's like she's so swooned by this humorous alphabet game that they've been going back and forth at, that she actually asked him on a date, and then he resists for no reason other than they needed the movie to go longer.
Maybe I think it was like a whole, he didn't want to get too attached to her type of thing.
Uh-huh.
Because he's like, this is what I want out of a relationship. I want to be a dad. And like, because this man is like,
Well, I don't know how motherly you are with knowing this many spices. It seems like you're a weird spice lady. A spice girl?
kids don't like spices.
I don't know if I could date a spice girl.
Kids like plain cheese and chicken tenders. They don't like coriander.
Yeah. If you want to be my lover, you've got to raise some kids.
It's not me. I'm a cop. I'm
Yeah,
just going to be sitting in the side of the
I'll
road.
shoot the kids.
He's a cop.
So they agree to get dinner at the end of this. And so now we cut back to the ghost. And the ghosts want to have sex. They point out the secret map to all your buttons. Like, they're fighting, though? The ghosts are fighting? It doesn't really make the most sense. Like, why are we seeing this ghost scene? The ghost is not part of the romance. Like, I thought they were married. Like, what is there to lose or gain? Just another scene to extend the movie. So now we're at dinner.
They're at the dinner, and then he puts alfalfa on the meatloaf and Alfredo that they're eating, whatever it is.
As a callback to the scene that literally just happened before the pointless ghost
because
fight
he
scene.
had to name a spice, and he said alfalfa. He could have said garlic, onion powder.
No, it had to start with an A.
Cumin. Okay, allspice. Alfalfa is not a spice.
Yeah. Also, the dinner looks like a pan of burnt dog shit. I don't know why. Also, they're like at the restaurant of the Holly Hotel. Did she make this? They're on a date. Why would you make her
There
cook the
currently
meatloaf?
is no chef.
But they have no sous chef, but they have idiots back there.
They did because the mom.
And it looks like an idiot made this because this shit is burnt meatloaf with alfalfa.
Yes. So the little boy from the Little Rascals was sitting atop of this meatloaf. Alfalfa.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But he, so the parents.
Gee willikers, or what's alfalfa say?
Well, we
Gee
don't know
whiz.
because they've already eaten him.
Oh yeah, yeah. They ate him. They violently ate him at the dinner table, and they bonded.
But like, we haven't met the kitchen staff yet, but they're pretty much only there for comedic relief.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that at the end of the movie, but they don't know how to do anything. So it's really setting up that she needs to take over and like continue the family business. But also, good point. Who's making the dinner at the damn Holly Hotel then?
That it goes unresolved for irresponsibly way too long for a giant hotel like this. That it's hinted that she's going to do it, but not until like the very end. She doesn't really express like interest. I mean, I guess the spice scene. It's not like she wants to become a cook or anything.
No, she
because
does.
she mentions her dream job.
What she thinks is her dream job.
What she thinks is her dream job.
And I think it's some sort of like a food critic thing, but she's having this existential crisis with her parents, and they really want her to just stay in Holly. They're pushing for that. They're like, you should fuck this cop and stay in Holly and work for minimum wage in this kitchen every single weekend.
The mom is okay with it. But
Well, the
the
mom's
dad,
retired.
the dad is pissed off of it, that she's gonna leave for this dream job.
So we don't know what the dream job is. She just says it's a dream job, like in every classic like cheesy movie with the busy businesswoman. She's like, it's my dream job. It's in New York City, and we learn a little bit about her backstory. So her family's originally from Washington D.C. because her dad used to be in politics.
Yeah. And
He
this
was
is
a
why the
senator?
dad doesn't want her to go for her dream, because he lost an election.
Mm-hmm.
Election for what? They don't really
We don't
get
know.
into. He lost the election, and he is salty about it.
He lost the election for the secret shadow government that lives in the Denver
They
airport.
wouldn't let me join the Illuminati, so don't go for your dreams. You're never going to get in.
So we don't really like understand why the parents took a radical turn of diverting out of political science into owning a historic hotel in Michigan. And we learned that she was very upset as a child when they moved out of Washington, D.C. And my favorite line in the movie
Here we go. Yeah.
is her describing how much she hated Holly, Michigan, because she couldn't even breathe the air.
Yes, the fresh air was too much for her lungs. The oxygen molecules in Holly, Michigan were too big for her body to
And she
process.
says
She was
it-
just like...
She says it too, Truman. It was exactly like that.
But then she during this conversation, without anything actually happening, she comes back around and she says, "There's no place like home," and then she starts crying. But she starts fake crying. It's like, if this is your big crying scene, like, actually cry. There was no tears in those eyes. They didn't even bother to do like teardropper tears or like
Come on, Joel.
spritz some
Yeah.
lemon in her eyes or something.
At least punch her in the face.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
What are
If
you
you're-
doing?
If you're gonna do a crying scene, break those tears out. The next thing we have is Matthew goes to visit his grandma, his mom. She's looked decrepit and very old. Is this her grandma? Is this Kathy's grandma? I don't remember exactly whose grandma this is, but Matthew visits her, and the grandma's like, "Why did you give her a choice?" It's like, is this grandma advocating you just kidnap her and keep her in a basement until she falls in love with
He's
you?
a cop. He could
I
do
mean,
that.
put her in jail until she loves you. This leads into so he takes grandma's advice and steals a cop car off duty, makes an illegal stop, and pulls her over
Oh,
as
wait,
she's
yes,
leaving
yes,
town.
Yes.
He goes into it. He's like, this is an illegal stop. I'm not supposed to be doing this. I would get in a lot of trouble, but I've only been in love once, here with you. and then some very inappropriate music plays.
You make it sound like he said it very sweetly, but he was not saying it sweetly. He was kind of yelling.
If you change the music over this, in fact, I'm going to cut it together, and this scene mood is going to change entirely with him pulling her over.
And I'm just like, how have you never been in love before ever?
No, this is scary. I would say whatever this cop, if this cop pulled me over and did this on me, I would go, I love you.
You wouldn't have a choice because he literally admits he's abusing his power. It's like a power dynamic where he holds all of the power.
It doesn't work. His attempt to pull her over and woo her back, because we see weird stock footage of New York, so she's in New York now.
Oh, but it's not. It's like clearly Joel Paul Rising in a taxi with a cell phone holding the cell phone up against like a dirty taxi window, and he got like 2 seconds of cell phone footage of New York.
So cut to Dad drinking, and he gets visited by the second ghost here, Ghost Grandma, and the Ghost Grandma says, "You're worried you're not a good father." You know what? You. I never said that. Also, he brings up during this that there's a second daughter snowed in California. Like he's alone on Christmas because his one daughter went for New York, but they really don't give too much shit. It's another thing where it's just like, why is this matter? Like this
I don't
sister,
remember that.
this sister that they always are on the phone with. She never actually shows up to the Holly Hotel. Like you would think she would. They're like hinting at she'll be here for the dinner. She's gonna surprise everybody and show up for the dinner. No, she never shows up again. Like all of her scenes are like her on the phone walking around California. So the big dinner's happening. The big dinner with the special guest is happening, and we cut to the kitchen where they're like proposing that they make grilled cheese for dinner or something.
And by them, we mean the shitty, stupid waitstaff
who
can't do anything.
Dumbos that they can barely make mashed potatoes, and they're back there supposed to make this big, elaborate Christmas Eve dinner. And then, thank God, Kathy shows up.
And they're like, oh my God, Kathy's here. And Kathy, who doesn't have her hair in a hairnet, she doesn't have gloves on. She's not following any food safety protocols.
This is right before dinner. Nothing's prepped or cut. Like, who knows if they even have the ingredients to make what she's going to want.
I don't see a single Cambro. It's like Joel Paul Rising has never worked in a kitchen. He doesn't understand how this works. But she just walks back there.
I'll cook. I guess.
Yeah, she's like, I got
I'll do it.
So she takes over the kitchen. And like the guy who's working in the kitchen...
And there's no stakes. Yeah, he never gets punished for suggesting grilled. He should have gotten punished. For proposing grilled cheese for the big Christmas Eve dinner. They would have rampaged.
Turned him into a ghost. He's going to appear as a ghost.
They would have set the Holly Hotel on fire if you brought out grilled cheese. They would have been like, haha.
This is an
interesting appetizer. No, this is the main course. And I paid $90 to be here for this dinner. And I paid $1,000 for the weekend. I'm burning this place to the ground.
Oh, but they had the punchline where he's like, the owner of the hotel was like, grilled cheese, and he's like, and tomato soup. Like
tomato soup. I can open a can too.
That was supposed to be.
She
fun.
Probably killed and they ate him because if he suggested grilled cheese, they probably didn't have any meat, so they threw his ass into the meat grinder, and then they're like, sausages are ready.
Well, it's worth it because the dinner has a very special guest.
Yes, need to have a big, fancy dinner. Thank God Kathy saved dinner because the President of the United States of America shows up.
And they announce it because it's like they've not, like, they kind of hinted at it that the dad was in politics. They brought that up in the beginning of the movie, and it pays off because his best friend is the President of the United States of America.
Just drops in. No Secret Service or anything.
Nothing. No, and he's shaking hands with everybody. Nobody is like, that is not
He's
how
eating
that
potential
works.
poison from the kitchen.
Like,
no questions asked.
when, like, you could listen to the episode of WTF with Mark Maron when he talks about how Barack Obama asked to be on the podcast and, like, the amount of protocol it took to make that happen. He had, like, snipers on top of his house and in his garage. Like, there was no protection. This was just a man in, like, a Kohl's suit.
Well, maybe that was cut out of the movie. The Holly Hotel had like 1,000 snipers, and everybody has like red dots on their forehead. So that would be funny if that was the scene. Everyone's just like, don't move, don't make any threatening actions toward the president. They're all just like, tables are shaking, you hear silverware in the water like clattering. He's got, what's the big deal, everybody? This is just the president hanging out with everybody. We come back to the kitchen. It's post-dinner service. I guess everything went well. They look like they're standing in the exact same places as before dinner happened. And then guess who walks in through the back door? It's Matthew.
Oh, yeah.
He's back. But I guess there's no lock on the Holly Hotel kitchen door. You can just walk back there. I thought, hey, nobody says, hey, you don't work here. No one tries to stop him. He just walks in and starts talking to Kathy. Again,
Matthew
could have
knows-
assassinated the president.
Yeah, because the doors weren't locked. Yeah.
No.
Anyone could have snuck in and killed the president.
Yeah.
But Matthew knows that Kathy is back and not in New York, and that she turned down her dream job because his grandma's at the big Christmas Eve dinner at the Holly Hotel, and she texts him.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to ask any young people how to work her phone.
That's the most
She
unbelievable
texted him.
thing. The grandma's ability to text is that was where all the CGI budget went for the movie, is trying to get this grandma to look like she actually texted on a cell phone.
But he sees her there, and is there some sort of a speech or anything?
No, well, she's like, I can't meet the president like this. So she changes, and she has a beautiful red dress.
And she walks out of the kitchen with Matthew, and the president's like, ooh, 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 look at this beautiful young lady who cooked all this food for us.
Damn!
Like,
she's, I know you used to be really, really young when I first met you, but you look sexy as hell. Come give Uncle Tyler a hug.
come give Uncle Tyler a hug.
Don't
And
call me the president. Call me Uncle Tyler.
I love that
and
we
give
have
me a long hug. And then they just really didn't know what to do. With the president's here, I guess he's gonna read a story.
He was reading The Night Before Christmas, which
Yeah.
is like, okay, presidents do that kind of thing where they have like storyteller hour.
To like kindergartners.
kids.
Yeah, to kids.
You see him reading this book, and he is putting all of his emotion into reading this book.
And we're cutting also back between Kathy and Matthew having a conversation.
Oh, yes, because this movie is about Kathy and Matthew, but once the president comes into the movie, I want it to be about him. This
Yeah,
guy
I want to see what the president's up to.
hilarious.
Is he the president now? Or is he a former president? They don't really go into too many details. But it seems kind of irresponsible to just like leave your duty and go to
not
Holly,
have-
Michigan for no reason.
Yeah.
To not like have a
He's,
talk
like,
or
on
an
the
organization
lam.
or a meeting with anybody.
I don't even remember how they end up getting. Like, does he propose to her? I don't even remember.
Yeah, so in between the president reading The Night Before Christmas to this crowd of enthralled people. So they're talking to each other. Are you going to put up with this reckless driver who goes 51 and a 25? Again, bringing that up for one last time. And then Matthew says, I love you too. Love? What the hell? And then, yep, Matthew goes right in from that to proposing.
Ugh.
They just fucking met, but
Gross.
and then, even more surprising, she says yes. You know, Kathy, you don't really know each other.
Where did he get a ring?
Yeah, I guess maybe the kitchen. Maybe I don't know.
Is he the type of
lifted
guy
it
who
off
just
his grandma?
has a ring?
Yeah.
And he just is carrying it around his whole life. He tailgates them until they go 51 miles per hour, and then he
Yeah.
pulls them over.
You know, so many women just went 50, but she went 51. You know, that was really the tell. That's the real reckless danger. And then the ghosts are, smiling, patting each other on the back, and they're already asking for grandkids on Christmas. They're asking for grandkids like tonight, like the grandkids would be born immediately. Like That's not gonna happen. Grandkids is not in the realm of possibilities for tonight. Okay,
We're
grandparent,
so
weird ghosts.
excited for the grandbabies.
Yeah, what weird premature baby's gonna be born 9 months early? A little homunculus man goes, "Mama." Oh my God! Was that in the sausage? Was that in the Christmas pudding? Mama.
So that's Christmas at the Holly Hotel.
That's Christmas at the Holly Hotel. You have not heard the last of Joel Paul Rising.
Oh, he'll be back.
We have many more. Such classics as Andy the Talking Hedgehog. Oh, and then Joel Paul Rising will also intertwine with Dean Cain.
Oh,
So,
Dean Cain and Joel Paul Rising are a power couple.
Yeah, stay tuned for that.
If you do watch this movie, watch it for President Uncle Tyler.
Yeah, you could definitely skip through the boring parts and watch the highlights and get all you need from this movie. There are some moments in this movie that
Jason hates these movies. I think Jason had his eyes closed this whole movie.
It's almost a masochistic thing now because I hate them, but I can't stop watching them.
You love them.
I hate them.
And I love you.
I love you. And this is the end of our first episode of Tubi Turds. Tubi Turds. Tubi Turds.
Tubi Turds. Tubi Turds. They're infecting your brain and they're driving you insane. Tubi Turds.